Beautiful. So we're going to get started. I am seated outside today, of course, again in my yard, and I'm just seated in a kitchen chair for our practice today. So just to show you that any chair will do, any chair that we can find that we are already in is the perfect place to do our practice. And so from this position, our seated position, we're going to get right into things. So I'm going to start by inviting you just to give your feet and toes a little bit of a wiggle beneath you. So I chose to be barefoot on the grass. So I know most of us, if not none of us, I don't think today are barefoot on the grass, but I wonder if you can just imagine that your feet are resting on directly on the surface of some sort of earthly material. So whether that is grass or sand, or maybe in the gentle waves of water. Perhaps you're imagining your feet to be right in the soil of your garden. And we'll just rock our feet forward and back, trying to establish that deep connection of grounding right here in our seats. Beautiful. And then finding stillness through the feet. We'll do the same motion through the hands. So we can just start to rock the hands forward and back. Finding that same sensation of grounding through the hands. Sometimes when we don't have the use of our feet, or if we don't have a lot of sensation in the feet, we can do this exercise through the hands as well to bring that sense of grounding. Let's find stillness now through our hands, and we'll do one final grounding exercise through our seat, through our body, through our bottoms. So just a little shuffle and shift in your chair side to side. Feeling the support of your chair beneath you. Good. And then let's come and find stillness here in our seat, creating that connection to the nice long line all the way up and down our spine, moving from the tailbone all the way up to the crown of the head. Let the shoulders relax here. If you're ready to close your eyes, I know many of us are ready. Go right ahead. And you can start to bring your attention to your breath. And so we're just here noticing how the breath feels in the body. Each day, of course, is a little bit different. How does it feel to take a breath today? I know the air quality hasn't been so fine, so you might be noticing some irritations from that lately. Just noticing how and where the breath happens to be starting in the body. So where does the breath start? And noticing if there's any temperature to the breath, maybe noticing the coolness as you inhale and the warmth as you exhale. Let's extend that sensation, noticing to our skin. Just starting to notice your body in space, in whatever room you're in, noticing if there's any sensation of warmth or coolness around you now. Beautiful. Beginning to notice any sounds that you might be experiencing around you now. So sounds in the room that you're in. Maybe sounds of other people doing small tasks around you. The sound of an air conditioning. Maybe just you have windows open and it's outdoor sounds you can hear. Just notice what you hear. I'm going to invite you to take a nice full breath in 2 sips of air. So we inhale through the nose 2 times, and then a nice big full exhale through the mouth. Beautiful. 2 sips of air in through the nose. Full breath out. We'll do that 5 times. Inhale twice through the nose. Full breath out. Last one. Full breath in. Let it go. And then just let the breath return to its natural rhythm. And you can open your eyes at this point, just taking a little look around the room. Noticing light, dark, color, textures around you. Beautiful. Bringing your gaze back to center. We'll bring our hands together at our hearts. And we'll take 3 sun breaths just to start things off. Inhale, circling the arms up and around the body, coming as high as feels good. Exhaling, sending arms and hands down to our heart. Lovely. 2 more with the breath. Inhale, circling the arms up. Exhale to send the hands down to our heart. And last one, big circles up and around. Exhaling to our heart center. Lovely work. Floating the hands down to our knees. We'll take a little look over the right shoulder. So just starting with a little bit of neck work here, taking a look over the right shoulder. Maybe we bounce a little bit or pulse a little bit at that shoulder, just easing into the movement. And then we'll take a nice big inhale and send our head back forward. Exhaling as we turn back over to the left side this time. So changing sides. Pause here, just pulsing or bouncing as you ease into the sensation on the left side. And then we'll take that big inhale again, sending our head back through center. Exhale, turning over to the right again. Pause for a moment. Lovely. Inhale, come on back through center. Last time, exhale, turning to the left. Good. Pause, pulse if you like. You might even just move slightly up and down if that feels any better or any different. And then on an inhale, we'll come back through center, holding at center. Big roll of the shoulders as we exhale. Good. Let's keep rolling the shoulders just like that. Rolling up, back, and down. We can add a little bit of breath to our shoulder roll now as well. So we inhale, shoulders come up. As we exhale, we send the shoulders back and down, rolling them forward. Inhaling, shoulders come up. Exhaling, shoulders move away from us. Keep going. A couple more breaths. Rolling shoulders backwards. Inhaling up and exhaling. Hold them at the bottom. We'll just pause here and then we'll take our shoulder roll the opposite direction. So forward, down, and back. Inhaling up. Exhaling at the bottom of the circle. Just a couple more breaths. Good. Inhale and then holding at the bottom. Beautiful. Just finding your way back to our mountain pose. So reminding you, mountain pose, we roll the shoulders up, back, and down, creating nice space between the shoulders and the ears. Hands can rest on our knees. Feet are grounding into the earth. Spine is nice and tall, and we're ready to move. Beautiful. Finding our way to cactus arms. So both of our arms coming up, elbows are bent. Beautiful. And then we're opening arms back behind us, opening through the heart. Take a breath in. Exhale, elbows come forward, hands come forward. Maybe they even come together as we exhale. Good. Inhale, same motion, opening arms wide into cactus arms. You might notice that the chest lifts and the spine starts to arch. And then as we bring everything together, the spine starts to round behind us. So just a little version of cat and cow here. We inhale, arching spine, lifting heart. We exhale everything together, round through the spine. Good. 2 more. Inhaling. If you want to leave the arms out altogether, that's perfectly fine too. And you can just move the spine. That's an option for you. Last one. Inhale, open. Exhaling, hands together, elbows together. Beautiful. And then make your way back to center. We're opening the arms out to the side. Now, this time we're going to do a little rotation of the shoulders. So we bring the fingertips to point down, and then we rotate the shoulder so that the fingertips come back up. Good. So a little rotation of our shoulder here as we turn the hands down and then turning them back up. Good. Just a couple more. Shoulders, my shoulders are starting to feel a little warm. Warming up the shoulders. Beautiful work. One more time, rotating up and down. Good. Let's give those arms a little shake. We can give them a big shake even if we like. We can shake and our whole body can start to shake a little bit side to side. We might even shake the legs if we like. Just depends on how much energy you might want to brush off today a little bit before we get started. Beautiful. Just kidding, we've already started. No. Hands on our knees, big roll of the shoulders back down into mountain pose. Good. So moving into a bit of lateral flexion of the spine. So we're going to move just the right shoulder. We'll do one at a time here. So bringing it right up into our half cactus shape. The left hand can hold on to the arm of your chair if you have one, or you can just sort of tuck it underneath your leg if you want to support yourself a little bit. We'll think about lifting up and out of the hips, and then we're tipping over to the left with our spine. The hand can come along for the ride if you want to extend further. That just enhances the stretch a little bit on the right side. Good. Big breath into the ribs. And then exhale, come back upright. Bring that elbow right back down into our side. Good. Let's do that 2 more times. So lifting and tipping. The hand can come along if we like. Inhale. Exhaling, elbow back into side. And last one. Here we go. Big breath in. Tipping over. Good. And then we exhale, bringing that hand right back into half cactus. From here, we find a little twist, but first there's a little apple tree that needs picking back behind us. We'll find our way back to that apple tree, reaching back behind us. Give a little twist of the best apple, and then drop it right into your basket. That's right at your feet here. Beautiful. We'll do that 2 more times. We are getting close to apple picking season, so we'll practice here. Reaching back, give a little twist of the apple, pluck it off, and drop it into your basket at your feet. 1 more time. Sweeping the arm out, give a little twist, pluck it off right into our basket. Beautiful. And then make your way upright. Find your left knee. So both hands are on the left knee or thigh, coming into a twist towards the left. So pressing the feet into the floor. We might sit up a little taller. We might like to walk the hands up towards the hip a little bit more, or they may stay down towards the knee. Just feel how the spine responds to this movement. We'll take a few breaths here. Beautiful. Warming up the spine. Couple deep breaths in our twist, and see if we can just allow some of the other parts of our body to relax a little. Let the jaw relax. Let the face relax. Good. Nice, big, full, deep breaths. Let's untwist ourselves back to center. Big roll of the shoulders. Find mountain pose. We'll reset in between here. So just with our hands on our knees, draw the shoulder blades together. Lift through the heart. And then shoulder blades move away from each other, tucking in nice and close. Good. A couple more. Inhale. Heart pushes forward. Exhale, heart pushing back. Last one. Inhale forward. Exhaling, pushing back. Beautiful. Finding your way back up to mountain pose. And then we'll switch to the left side. So moving through that left cactus arm shape now. Right arm holds on somewhere for support, either the arm of our chair or underneath our leg, and then a little lateral flexion of the spine, tipping over to the right. The hand can come up along with us. Good. Big breath into the side ribs. Exhaling, elbow coming back into our side. Good. I want to offer you a little option for gaze as well. So we tip over in lateral flexion. We might turn our head up slightly towards the ceiling. And then exhale, gaze comes back through center. One more time, tipping over lateral flexion. Maybe the gaze turns up towards the sky. And then we come on back up. Gaze comes back through center. Beautiful work. We're going to reach for those apples on the left side now. So can we open the body up to the left, reaching back behind us, give a big pluck of an apple, and bring it on forward into our basket, dropping it in. Beautiful. Here we go, reaching back. Good. How's the breath? Let's inhale. And then exhale to drop our apple into our basket. Last one, reaching back behind us. Inhale. Pluck and exhale to drop it into the basket. Beautiful. Bringing both hands to the right knee now. So we're finding a twist on the right side. We can walk the fingertips up towards the hip or keep them down towards the knee. That's totally up to you. Wherever you are in your twist, just give a little check-in with the breath. How's our breath doing? Most of us take a big breath when we say that. Just see if we can let it go a little bit more, be a little bit more free. Softening through the shoulders. Beautiful work, everyone. Big breath. And then we'll find our way back to center, tiptoeing back through center. Beautiful work, finding mountain pose. Good. Let's do one more little cat and cow just because it feels nice to release through the spine. So roll the shoulders forward. Why don't we start this way first? Rolling shoulders, rounding through spine, and then we go the opposite way. Shoulder blades move back. Shoulder blades move forward. Just a couple at your own pace. Moving with what feels good in the body. Maybe you'd like to take a little circle around the hips here. Maybe that might feel nice. So just moving in any way that feels good for your spine. Wonderful. Let's make our way back to center, back to our mountain pose. Beautiful. And we're going to get a little bit now into the low body warm up. So if you're able to move forward, I'm going to invite you to move forward in your chair. Just a little preview of what's coming. Today we're going to be working a little bit with the psoas muscle and focusing a little more on hip stretches. I know a lot of us, when we sit for a while, end up having some hip pain. And so if you are, just as a heads up, we're going to be doing a little bit more work for the hips. So that's going to involve a little bit of kind of coming to the side of our chair. So just being mindful and ready for that coming up. Good. Let's start with our feet on the floor and start with a little heel march. We're going to start to warm the hips up a little bit here first. So we lift one heel and then the other. Good. That's just starting to ease into that hip flexor where the thigh bones connect to the hip bones as the song goes. Good, let's lift our heels up, and we might lift a little higher now. This, of course, getting a little more into the hip flexors, into the abdominal muscles. Good. If you want to add a little bit more to that, we can add some arms. We might like to keep the elbows bent, or we might like to extend the arms long. I know some of us go straight for extending everything, arms and legs. So find a comfortable place that feels good for you to do this movement, this alternating spinal balance movement or marching movement. Beautiful. Strong abdominal muscles. Finding just a couple more here. Big breath in. Last one. We can slow it right down. Beautiful. And then we're going to find that little step out with our right foot. So a step out to the side and a step back in. Good. Working that hip flexor like a hinge here. Good. Out to the side and back in. Out to the side and back in. We can leave that foot out to the side for just a moment. So just finding your way into that the right knee open to the side. Perhaps we can find a little shift left and right with our pelvis. So just exploring how that feels in the hip. Good. Maybe even a little circle around. Wonderful. And then we'll bring that foot back in. Give it a little break, give it a little rest. Just maybe knock knees together and notice how the hips feel. Big breath in and out. Good. We're going to do a little bit more on that side just for another moment. So finding your way behind the right knee, little or big squeeze of the knee up towards the chest. So that might just look like your heel is lifting off the ground, or your whole foot might be lifting off the ground as you squeeze in towards your chest. Good. Just a couple of those, lifting and squeezing. Get in a little deeper into our hip. Beautiful. Wonderful. Let's do one more, and then we'll make our way into our pigeon pose, which we did in our last class, holding on to our ankle. We might bring the ankle over top of the left ankle, or we might bring it on top of the left knee. So just finding your way to a comfortable pigeon pose. The left leg could extend a little further in front of you as well, just to soften the angle a little bit. But wherever you are in your pigeon pose, let's just hold this pose for a moment. Holding on to our knee, maybe our ankle. And take some nice deep breaths here. Letting your breath be full on the inhale and nice and full on the exhale. Good. If we feel ready, if we want to add anything else on here, we might just start to tip or hinge forward slightly. So bringing the chest just slightly over our lap, over our leg. Nice big stretch for the hip. Beautiful. Just breathing into it. See if you can soften once again through the face, through the jaw. Wonderful. And then we'll find our way back up, releasing through that top foot. Let it come all the way to the floor. And then you can sway your knees side to side. Feeling whatever sensations have started to move through the right side that might feel different from the left. So just pause for a moment. Big breath in and out. My right side's feeling quite warm, so we'll balance things out here now with the left side. Good. So finding that left knee. Good. And we might start to lift and lower that foot slightly. Just to kind of warm things up. But first, before we go into that knee lift, we're going to we'll find our open our open step. So open and close step with the left foot. Good. Stepping out to the side, stepping back in, starting to work the hinge of our hip here a little bit. And then find your way to our wide leg step on the left side. Good. And then once again from here, just pausing at the center, you might shift the pelvis slightly left and right, noticing how that feels or how that might change the sensation at all of our hip. Thinking about the hip, the thigh bone, the femur bone, pointing away or moving away from the pelvis as we shift left and right. Good. Let's come back to center. Pause for a breath. And then we can bring that foot back in. Beautiful. Here we'll find the left knee and our knee lifts up and down. As high up and down as feels good. Reminding you, you can always do the same side twice, or you can also visualize the movements. One more big breath here. Good. Exhaling, we're going to find that left ankle with our right hand, and we can bring the ankle on top of the right ankle, bring the left ankle on top, or we can bring it on top of the knee. So that just depends on how the hip's feeling today, the shape of our pelvis sometimes. Good. So finding your way into your most comfortable pigeon pose, and we'll pause for a breath here as we just allow ourselves to sink down a little bit into the hip. So feeling the weight of our body moving toward down through the sit bones, down into the pelvis. Beautiful. And you can stay here if it feels like it's enough. If you'd like to tip forward, we can start to just reach the heart forward, hinging through the hips, changing the sensation a little bit more. How's the breath? Can we invite a little smile to the face? Even if this pose doesn't make us want to smile necessarily. Smiling because it's a beautiful day. Let's inhale, coming back up. And then as we exhale, we release that ankle, sliding it all the way down, giving our knees a little rock side to side. Wonderful. Beautiful. So we're going to get a little more into our hips here now. So I'm going to invite you to find a wide leg position with the knees. So we're just bringing the knees and the toes out towards the corners, separating the knees, and you might scooch forward a little bit more on your chair, just so you've got a lot of room, a little bit more room, especially if you have arms on the chair. Good. Sitting with a nice tall spine. We're going to think about engaging through the low body, so pressing down through the floor. Good. Feeling, once again, the thigh bones, the femur bones, moving or pulling away from the torso, from the hips. Good. Just to help us engage through the low body. We also here can add a little element of upper body, so we can bring our cactus arms back in. We can do one or both, or one or the other. Good. From here, we're going to inhale and send the fingertips up. Maybe they touch and maybe not. Exhale, bringing the elbows back down to our ribs, to our sides. Good. That's our movement. So the legs stay where they are. The arms are going to move a little more dynamically as we inhale, reaching up. As we exhale, elbows coming into our sides. Good. Keeping that engagement of the low body if you can. Inhaling up. Maybe we lift the gaze up. Exhaling, bringing the gaze forward. Good. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhaling up. Exhaling, elbows down. Last one, inhaling, reach up. And exhaling, elbows at our sides. Beautiful work. We can release the hands. We can also release some of that engagement from the legs. Just give them a little bit of a passive sort of movement here, relaxing them in towards the center. Beautiful. So we're going to come into a little bit of a modified lunge position here. We'll do the best we can because I know when we've got arms on our chairs, sometimes we're a little bit limited in how much we can move. So we'll do our best here. I'm going to invite you to shift to the left side. So you notice that what happens here is we kind of shift to be a little bit more on the left glute, a little bit more, and the right glute kind of comes off the chair a little bit. To get into a lunge, we're going to come up onto our right toes and bring the right knee or the right femur bone pointing down towards the earth. So make any adjustments here that you need to. Trying to find two somewhat right angles of our knees. Left knee is bent, foot on the floor, and then the right femur bone is off the chair a little bit, pointing down towards the floor, resting on our toes. So this is our lunge, our modified lunge. I'm going to show you one other option if that's not really available for you. And that option is to do the same movement forward, where we scooch our foot underneath our chair and the femur bone or the thigh bone points down towards the floor. So this is another way. We're just doing it forward. I'm going to come into my side view. Good. From here, we want to engage a little bit through the thigh. So we really want to create that separation or that pulling downwards motion of the thigh bone. So seeing if we can point it down, and then also imagining that these hip bones are like headlights and that they're pointing forward. So we want to keep our hip forward while our thigh bone is moving away from the hips. Good, and we'll just pause here for a moment. Feeling the stretch here in our hip flexor, maybe down the quadricep muscle, and in the psoas muscle as well too. Just holding here in a little bit of a static movement to start. Can we take some big breaths? Settling in to this stretch. Good, one more big breath in. Exhale to release. And then we might start to move once again the pelvis forward and back. So this is not a very big movement at all. Just making this a little bit more of a dynamic stretch where we add a little bit of movement by moving forward and backwards. Just a little tiny movement to get a little bit more sensation into that hip area. Good, let's do one more. Big breath in and out. Good, and then we're going to release back to center, giving our knees and our hips a little bit of a break. Whew. Beautifully done, everyone. That was a bit of a new move for us today. So just let your legs rest, relax in any way that feels good, and pause for a moment. Pause and notice how the two sides of the body are feeling now. Wonderful. Beautiful. A really beneficial stretch for us, for those of us who find ourselves sitting quite a bit, which is many of us in our lives. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So again, finding your way to the right side of the body now, resting a little more heavily on the right glute, and then the left leg sort of comes off the chair a little bit. We come on to the left toes so that the knee starts to point down. We might be able to scooch that foot back a little farther. If you need to hold on for support at all, for balance, feel free to take whatever you need here. And I'll remind you that this can be done pointing forward as well too. So just to show you how that looks. So we're just scooching our foot under the chair. Good. Right foot flat on the ground and left knee, femur bones pointing towards the earth. Same movement, just a little bit more support, moving in the forwards version. Beautiful. So we're just going to find that stretch here for a moment. It's quite an active stretch, especially when we really engage through the thigh bone and continuously actively push it away or pull it away from the pelvis and the hip. So let your breath be full. Beautiful. Couple more breaths here in this static lunge. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, we can start to just move slightly, moving through the pelvis forward and back, keeping that activity, that activeness through the left leg. Good. A little bit of a forward backward motion, nothing too much, nothing too big at all. Beautiful. And then we're going to find our way back to our seated mountain pose. Coming back forward. Big roll of the shoulders here. Pause for a moment. If you want to release the knees side to side, or take any other movements that feel good for your body and your hips, go right ahead. Good. One more big breath here. Lovely. We're going to find a little forward fold. So two options. One would be for us to open our knees out again to wide leg stance. If your hips have had enough for today, you might like to just keep your feet closer together. So two options depending on how the hips feel. I'm going to open mine out to a wide leg stance. Just makes a little bit more room for my body. And then we'll find our way into a forward fold. So we can start to hinge forward. And if we're ready to come down to our elbows, that's an option. Make any adjustments that you need to in your chair. Some of us like to stay right here on our elbows. Some of us like to go a little further. So if you are comfortable, if you feel sturdy enough to go further, you can touch the floor. If your feet are towards each other, you might just bring your hands down towards your ankles, resting your chest on your thighs or on your belly. And wherever you happen to be resting, give your head a little shake. You can let the chin drop a little bit. Good. Give a little nod forward and back. One more big breath in. And then as we exhale, you can start to roll back up. Wonderful. And then we will make our way back into our seat, into our comfortable seat. So sitting all the way back in your chair, letting your feet rest in front of you. If you feel the need to or the urge to bring a blanket or a cushion around you, just for another added element of comfort, feel free to grab anything you need. I'm just going to drape my sweater over me. Get nice and comfortable. Take some full deep breaths here. You can close your eyes if you're ready. Gonna turn off our music for this part. Not quite the vibe. And just allow yourself to really feel present in this moment, to feel and notice all of the sensations in the body. Notice perhaps once again the sounds around you, any sounds around you in the room that you're in. Noticing any smells or aromas in the air. Noticing the sensation of coolness or warmth on the skin. And perhaps noticing an absence of any of those senses. Everything that we notice is mindfulness. Helping us to be more present, more centered, more grounded. Continuing to focus on your breathing, allowing it to guide you deeper and deeper into a state of relaxation. If it helps to keep your focus, you can simply say the words to yourself as you do the action. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Letting that sensation move from the crown of your head, down the sides of the neck, over the shoulders, down the arms, moving slowly into the hands, fingers, down the chest and the back, over the hips, down the legs, the knees, the shins and calves, into the ankles, heels, arches, right into the pads of our feet and our toes. Allow yourself to stay here. There's nothing more to do but breathe and be. Beginning now to bring your awareness back into your body, back into the room you're in, becoming aware once again of your senses. And slowly waking yourself back up, starting with fingers and toes, and moving up the arms and legs, gently and slowly bringing yourself back up to your seat. And we'll meet together once again with hands resting at our heart center. We'll close our practice with a moment of gratitude. So starting with rubbing our palms, creating that warmth energy between your hands, and then placing them over your eyes, pausing here to say thank you to our Mother Earth for always supporting and nourishing us, to say thank you to our community of family and friends, as well as our ancestors and teachers who have walked this earth before us. And finally, to say thank you to ourselves for honoring our needs today, creating this beautiful sacred space for our practice. Finally, bringing hands together at your heart, I bow to each of you to say thank you so much for allowing me to share this beautiful practice of yoga with you, and for sharing with me your time, your energy, and your breath. Thank you as always.